This is Domain 8, Media Protection of the Cybersecurity Maturity Model Certification, or CMMC. We'll go through the objective of the entire domain, each practice's objective, levels in practices, and a knowledge check. So the domain objective. Media protection activities ensure media used to store or transport controlled unclassified information, or CUI, is identified and protected in accordance with defined requirements. So any media devices we're using for CUI, whether in transit or at rest, is identified and being protected. These are our practice objectives that we're going to, we'll go through each one of them. So we have, as you can see, practices at level 1 and at level 2 of CMMC. So this domain, media protection, has 9 practices, only 1 being at CMMC level 1 and 8 at CMMC level 2. So first off, we have media disposal. For the practice description, we want to sanitize or destroy information system media containing federal contract information, or FCI, before disposal or release for reuse. So the assessor would determine if system media containing FCI is sanitized or destroyed before disposal. System media containing FCI is sanitized before it is released for reuse. So we don't want any residual information lying on these media devices. So that's our level 1 practice. For level 2, first off, we have media protection. Protect, i.e. physically control or securely store system media containing CUI, both paper and digital. So we want to determine if paper and digital media containing CUI is physically controlled and paper and digital media containing CUI is securely stored. Media access. Our practice description being limit access to CUI on system media to authorized users. So not only is the media controlled, but the users that are granted access to control it are also identified and kept track of. So determine access to CUI on system media is limited to authorized users. Media markings. Mark media with necessary CUI markings and distribution limitations. So quickly being able to identify what has CUI being stored on it and what doesn't, and where and when it can be distributed and when it cannot. Determine if media containing CUI is marked with applicable CUI markings. Media containing CUI is marked with distribution limitations. Next, we have media accountability. Control access to media containing controlled unclassified information and maintain accountability for media during transport outside of controlled areas. So determine if access to media containing CUI is controlled, which it always should be. Accountability for media containing CUI is maintained during transport outside of controlled areas. So as a common theme, a chain of command. We know who has access to it, but also who's handling it outside of our controlled area. Portable storage encryption. Implement cryptographic mechanisms to protect the confidentiality of controlled unclassified information stored on digital media during transport, unless otherwise protected by alternative physical safeguards. So determine if the confidentiality of CUI stored on digital media is protected during transport using cryptographic mechanisms or alternatively physical safeguards. Removable media. Control the use of removable media on system components. Determine if the use of removable media on system components is controlled. So that one's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Shared media. Prohibit the use of portable storage devices when such devices have no identifiable owner. So determine if the use of portable storage devices is prohibited when such devices have no identifiable owner. And protect backups. our practice description being protect the confidentiality of backup CUI at storage locations. And then we want to determine if the confidentiality of backup CUI is protected at storage locations with those same requirements that the organization has for their main location, if not more. And our quick knowledge check. Question 1. Describe CMMC practice identifier media access. And our answer for question 1 is C, limit access to CUI on system media to authorized users. Question 2, select the practice identifier associated with this CMMC practice. Protect, i.e. physically control and securely store, system media containing controlled unclassified information, both paper and digital. And of course, our answer for question 2 is C, media protection, which can be found at MP.L2-3.8.1. Question 3, describe CMMC practice identifier media markings. Media markings can be found at MP.L2-3.8.4. And our answer for question 3 is D. Mark media with necessary CUI markings and distribution limitations. Question 4. Select the practice identifier associated with this CMMC practice. Control access to media containing controlled unclassified information and maintain accountability for media during transport outside of controlled areas. And our answer for question 4 is C, media accountability, which can be found at MP.L2-3.8.5. And question 5, describe CMMC practice identifier portable storage encryption. That one can be found at MP.L2-3.8.6. And our answer for question 5 is C. Implement cryptographic mechanisms to protect the confidentiality of controlled unclassified information, or CUI, stored on digital media during transport unless otherwise protected by alternative physical safeguards. Thank you.